Hi, I'm Ellen, registered dietitian with Northeast Hospital Corporation.
Hi, I'm David, executive chef of Addison Gilbert Hospital.
Hi, I'm Pete, the executive chef of Beverly Hospital.
Wanted to welcome you to our cooking show where we're going to teach you how to cook healthy recipes that are easy to make at home. What are we going to make today?
Today we're going to make a wonderful whole grain pasta tossed very nicely with a aromatic pesto sauce.
That's going to be accompanied with a grilled bruschetta with a tomato, caper, and olive relish. All fresh, all natural, all delicious.
That does sound delicious. So stay tuned for future cooking shows. As part of our Healthy Hospital initiative, we'll have more to come, and you can find out more information by following us on Twitter, liking us on Facebook, and also visiting beverlyhospital.org.
Hi, and welcome to our Mediterranean-inspired show. Today we're going to be using some really fresh ingredients that are both delicious and good for you. Wouldn't you agree?
I would, Pete. The Mediterranean diet is chock full of benefits, very high in monounsaturated fat as well as high in whole grains. So I'm curious to hear about today's recipes. Dave, you want to tell me a little bit more?
I would love to, Ellen. Thank you very much. So today we've selected a recipe which highlights all those ingredients, and to incorporate that, especially the fiber, we're going to start with a whole grain pasta. Okay. And then we're going to make a fresh pesto sauce, which is going to incorporate the flavors of basil, garlic, pine nuts, some Parmesan cheese. And also to go with that, we're going to make a nice grilled bruschetta dish that we're going to top with tomato, caper, and olives. Okay, nice. We're going to make a relish out of that and put that on top of the nice grilled bread. And it should come all together nicely.
Sounds good.
Excellent.
Should we get started soon?
I think we should.
So I will be joining you at the end of the show to tell you about more of the nutritional benefits of the Mediterranean diet. So I'll see you then.
Okay, so the first thing I like to do when I'm preparing my workstation is I actually like to take a wet paper towel and just simply put it underneath my cutting board and set my cutting board on top of it. And the big reason for that is if you didn't have it, as you're chopping, the cutting board can slide all around. Not very good. But once you put this wet piece of paper towel down there, you get some friction and the cutting board stays in place.
Yeah, it really is a great trick. It's what I use at home too with some of my cutting boards that don't have the non-skid piece onto them.
This is a great way to start. Keep everything safe in the kitchen. That's the biggest thing. We're actually going to start with the bruschetta and making the tomato, olive, and caper relish. The reason for that is we simply want the flavors to marinate a little while to kind of bring them all together.
Yeah, it's kind of important to let them marinate for a little bit. It doesn't have to be a long time, but the more that the flavors get to combine, the better the end product is really going to be.
So now I'm just going to start by actually preparing our tomatoes for this, and I always start with the tomatoes first because that's kind of the base of the base of this relish. That's the main ingredient in this relish. The other ones are just flavoring. And I love to use aroma tomato for this. I think the flavor is that much sweeter. It's got a nice meaty texture to it. And the way we start with that is simply we're going to quarter this and take out the seeds.
Good. Well, while you're doing that, I'll start on the grilled bread. Some of the grilled bread you could use either whole grain bread, plain bread. Today we're using a multi-grain bread. It's delicious. It's got the health element to it that Ellen will be back later to talk to you guys about. There are many different ways you could do it. You could do it on a grill, you could do it in a pan, you could put it in a toaster. Today we're going to be using a pan. It leaves a little bit more of a softer texture to what we're doing, and quite frankly I think it's the best way to do it.
Yes, I just wanted to come back to this and show you. So I'm taking out the seeds of this tomato, and first of all I cut it into quarters. And simply I'm just going to, this is the stem end, and I'm just going to run my knife just below the seed pocket and all the way through. And the seeds come out in one nice cluster like that. And I have a bowl here on the side to keep all my scraps in, just to keep the counter nice and clean and organized.
Always a good thing to keep your kitchen clean and organized as you're going.
Right. So simply we're just going to cut these into thin strips one way, and then we're going to turn it around and complete our dice. The smaller the dice on this, the better off you'll be. You want to try to match all the sizes of your ingredients. And you also don't want it so big that it's actually going to fall off, off the bread once that's grilled.
Which we'll get back to right now. The way I like to do it myself is literally just pour the oil right on top of the bread and gently just place it right in the pan. It will sear a little bit and obviously smoke a lot. We're using an induction burner. You could use, again, anything you want to toast it. Just let it go for a little bit. It's going to get a nice golden brown to it.
Yeah, so what is a good temperature to put that on, Pete, to start off with?
Right around medium-high heat. If you use an electric burner, maybe a little bit lower. A gas burner, depends on what you really have.
Excellent.
It's about 30 seconds aside.
Yeah.
Flip right over.
That's okay if it's, you know, a little around the edges.
A little crispy around the edges is what you really want, though, anyway.
Great. I'm still working on the tomato relish over here, and now I'm working on the olives. And the olives that we've selected for this are Kalamata olives. These are great olives. They have a nice saltiness to them. They've been brined. Great quality. For this dish, I'm not a fan of Spanish olives per se. You know, the
Now, are those olives in a can?
Yeah, the canned black ones. Not so much for me for this dish. I like the quality of these. Any type of Greek cured olive would be great. Would be work well in this.
Now, could you use like a green olive, say if it wasn't from a jar, if it was fresh at the market?
Yep, that would be perfect too. Again, you want to have a good quality olive for this, as opposed to the canned Spanish olives.
Yeah, so less processing for the food would be better.
Right. Also to this, I'm going to add some garlic. We've already got some chopped garlic right here. A teaspoon or so. And we're also going to add some fresh basil. And the way we process the basil is we want to get a nice shred on this. So we got some nice fresh cleaned off basil leaves here. We stack them up one by one, right? And then we're just going to roll it up into a nice little package. And so you got it all rolled up. Then we simply slice very thin strips right on down that roll of basil. The classical cooking term for this is called chiffonade, but we just call it shredded basil.
Yeah, it works a lot better that way sometimes.
Right? Again, discard, sprinkle that right in.
Excellent.
All right, and I think the last thing we got is some capers. Now capers, if you're not familiar using this ingredient, these are actual unopened buds of the caper plant. Okay, they come packed in a salt water solution, a brine, and they're very nice. They add a similar flavor as olives.
Now, should I rinse those or should I just use them straight out of the jar?
It depends. If you're really conscious about your sodium intake, you definitely rinsing them off will take off a little bit of that brine and reduce the sodium for you. So rinsing them could be a good idea. And we'll just sprinkle some of those in like that. And what else? I think then I'm just going to steal your olive oil.
Sorry about that.
That's quite all right. And a little bit of salt.
Go right ahead.
Right. And, you know,
Balsamic.
in this dish, since we are making this all from fresh ingredients, a little bit of salt that you add to it is not going to really affect the dish. It's just going to help bring together those flavors. And just a couple of tablespoons of olive oil drizzled together. And we just take our spoon, just toss those ingredients together. And this is great. This is finished. We have our relish.
Excellent. On my last piece of bread right now, toasting up. Again, takes about 30 seconds aside, maybe 45 seconds, depending upon where you are with it.
So right now the relish is just going to marinate. It's just going to sit there, and we don't even really have to think about it. We're just going to let the bread kind of hang out. So we did this work in advance. So now we can move on to our main dish, is the pasta with pesto, the whole grain pasta. So Pete, I got the pasta going over here on the back of the stove. You're going to start the pesto sauce, correct?
Yeah, I'm going to start it right up. Now, we're using the whole grain pasta. Is that going to take a little bit longer to cook, shorter to cook, roughly the same?
Well, the directions I have that you normally go with, it takes about 10 to 11 minutes.
Oh, about the same then.
Right.
Okay. Well, here for the pesto, we're going to be doing simple ingredients. We have pine nuts, Parmesan cheese, garlic, basil, just a pinch of salt, extra virgin olive oil. Don't use any other oil, use extra virgin. It's the only way you're gonna get a true, real good Mediterranean taste. Canola oils, they'll say they can use them. Stay away from them, stick to the extra virgin. It's the only way to go. First, we're gonna take a little bit of pine nut.
Now those are toasted, right, Pete?
Yes, you can toast them. You can use them untoasted. Either way, I like to toast them myself for the extra flavor. That's all it really comes down to. How's the pasta coming?
Oh, it's going. It's going. A couple more minutes.
For 4 people, you're gonna want to use about a half a cup.
Excellent. Parmesan cheese.
About a half a cup of Parmesan Reggiano if you want. You can use any cheese you want. You could even change the nut if you want. You could use a walnut, a cashew.
Oh, that's
whatever.
great. Yeah.
Yeah. A couple of cloves of garlic, nothing major. Fortunately for us, we peeled them already, so it works out great. Plop a few of those in.
Love that.
Basil, key ingredient, very key ingredient. I like to pick each individual leaf. Some people do like to cut them ahead of time. It doesn't really matter. It's going in a food processor. It's all going to get chopped up and delicious.
I can already start to smell that coming out just by handling it. I can start to smell the basil.
It's my all-time favorite. I can't get enough of it. That's that. If you're using a food processor or blender at home, unfortunately we have a little pop on the top, so you got to add the oil in increments. If you're at home, you can just pour it right out and it works out great.
Yeah.
You're going to want to go about a quarter of a cup of oil to start, get a nice paste with that, and then go from there. That is locked in. And that's really all it takes for pesto, is a quick little chop.
Excellent. I think our pasta's almost ready to go, so.
Wonderful. This takes a minute. Touch more oil.
What is the consistency we're looking for, Pete?
With the name pesto, you're looking for a paste, really. And again, you just let it go. And it depends on what you want. If you want it to be thicker, it can be thicker. You can add cream to it if you want it to be creamier. There's many different ways you can go. You could do sun-dried tomatoes. You don't have to stick to the traditional pesto. There's a million different ways you can go with pesto.
So I'm gonna drain, our pasta's all set here. I'm gonna drain that out. As soon as the pasta comes out, your sauce is ready. Put it together in a nice bowl. Get your sauce out of there. And immediately as the pasta comes out, you hit it with the pesto, so the fresh made pesto sauce. The basil, again, the aromas just start going everywhere.
I like to make the pesto right as you're about to use it. The freshness of it is just phenomenal. With the basil, after you chop it up, you lose the flavor of it immediately. So the quicker you can make it, the closer to when you're making the pasta, works out perfect.
Right.
And so literally all you do in the pasta, toss it around, and it's just an explosion of basil. You can smell that toasted pine nut. And that's really all there is to it.
Excellent. So I think we're ready to get plated, right?
Yeah, I think we're ready to get plated. All right, so now we're going to start plating it. Ellen, why don't you talk to us a little bit about this?
Having watched Dave and Pete prepare this whole grain pasta is a great selection. The pasta that they use today is Perilla Plus, which is higher in protein and omega-3 fats. So it's a great vegetarian as well as Mediterranean-inspired meal.
Excellent. You got here just in time, Ellen.
I know I did.
Jeez.
My timing is planned.
Impeccable.
Excellent. And just topping tomato relish on top of these wonderful crostinis to finish
great.
off.
So this bruschetta also looks fantastic. I like the whole grain bread that you use as a way to kick up the fiber content. As a side note, you might want to think if you're making this at home and you're trying to watch your sodium content, you could take out the Kalamata olives and capers, which are higher in sodium, and just substitute with maybe onion, roasted red peppers. I don't know what tips you guys have, and just stick with a little bit of salt, oil,
It's definitely
and vinegar.
another way you can go.
Great, great. Yeah, and the colors on this are just absolutely wonderful. Can't wait to give it a try.
It's delicious.
Oh, but that is very good. Taste the toasted pine nut, the garlic, everything.
Basil's phenomenal.
Without a doubt, Mediterranean diet. We stuck with the principles here. We used extra virgin olive oil, which is from the first press of the olive, which is higher in antioxidants, which helps in heart health. The tomatoes, we got fresh ingredients, the whole grain pasta. we stuck right along with the principles of this Mediterranean diet, which we know is really beneficial in heart health.
That's really the essence, using bright, fresh, vibrant vegetables, using as much scratch ingredients as possible.
And I noticed you guys did a lot of just kind of eye measuring, but I think as a general, I would probably use a little measuring spoon or something if you're using the olive oil and that sort of thing, and that'll help keep your portions in check as well. So are these types of dishes something that we can get at the hospital cafeteria, Pete?
Oh, definitely. As a part of this program, we're going to be doing all of these recipes both at Beverly and at Addison Gibbon, aren't we, Dave?
Correct. This is all part of our Healthy Hospitals initiatives, which we're trying to really take care of not only our patients, but also families and staff and visitors that come to the hospital. Those recipes will be available in several different areas, not only in the cafe, but also on Facebook and at beverlyhospital.org.
That's great. Well, hopefully you can come by our cafeterias and try some of our new recipes as part of the Healthy Hospitals initiative. If you can incorporate dishes like this into your lifestyle, it will help you live longer and healthier.